I said, really? I said, what videos and how'd you find them? And I always ask that question of a client. Do you always ask your clients how they found out about you? Really important to do that. So she said, I was on Google searching Bel Air. I saw your videos. It took me to your YouTube channel and I saw some of the videos. I said, well, what made you call me from those videos? She says, two things. She said, number one, you were really honest. I said, how so? There's an area in Bel Air called Stone Canyon where the Hotel Bel Air is. It's a beautiful, very, very much like here. It's in the hills with mountains and these roads that run up and down. And I said, it's a beautiful neighborhood. I said, it's very foresty, it's very pristine. But if you're a sun lover, it may not be for you because you're in a canyon, so the sun will rise 3 or 4 hours later in the morning and will set a couple hours earlier in the afternoon. And she told me that they were in escrow in a $10 million house, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there was no sun at the pool, so they canceled that deal. So honesty. I said, what's the second video? Oh, I saw your helicopter tour of the most expensive houses in LA. This is 17 years ago. I just took a chance, and I hired a great production team, spent a fortune. We rented a helicopter with twin cams. The company that did Planet Earth series, you know that Planet Earth series? So they had those special cameras and filming all these, $80, $150 million homes. And she said, well, if you'd spend that much money on a helicopter video, you'd spend money to market my house. So great. I said, so what do you want to do? I want to buy and sell. So she said, I'd like you to meet my husband. Can you come at 8:30 on Monday night? I'm like, I got to go meet a buyer at 8:30 on a Monday night at their house? And I said, who's your husband? His name is Tony Natsis. And this is all on TV. When I did my TV show, we did a whole episode of this buying and selling. And so I got there and I wore, the black 3-piece suit with the tie, very conservative lawyer look, right? Brought my yellow legal pad, the long legal pads. So I sit down. I said, Mr. Natsis, do you mind if I ask you some questions and take some notes? I just took control. He said, sure. He was a very stiff guy. Started asking question after question after question. About 20 minutes into the conversation, I said, Mr. Natsis and Dimitri, I said, I like you. I said, I think you like me, body language. I said, why don't we just get started and find you a house? And the husband just said, well, Christoph, my wife decided to choose you on the first phone call. I said, then what am I doing here? He says, I wanted to meet you in person. So we went out to look for a house. We looked at 3 houses. She bought a $10 million plus house. I then sold their house for $4.7 million. Then his secretary, I sold her $500,000 condo, and then she bought a $1.4 million house. Their friend bought a $6 million house for me, and then 2 summers ago, during COVID, they said, we need a weekend beach house. So I found them a beautiful $8 million house in Balboa in Newport Beach. So keep being consistent is part of the social media plan. Keep doing what you're doing. Believe in who you are and yourself and providing value to the people out there.